I'm back in this setup. It feels like it's been a while since I've been in this chair with my phone. I film with my phone right now, but it feels like it's been a while since I've been in this position. Also feels like it's been a while since I did a movie review, so it kind of feels like I'm just talking with an old friend right now, except I'm not. It's a cell phone that I'm talking to, not a real life person. So the movie Cruella, I really wasn't looking forward to that much, just because I feel like these kinds of live action Disney movies, and I know this isn't like a remake of 101 Dalmatians or anything. It's a live action Disney movie that's based on a animated Disney character that we're very familiar with. And I just wasn't that excited for it. I saw the trailer. It looks good visually. I think they got all that down well, and I like the cast. I like the director. I still wasn't sold on this movie. I wasn't anticipating it that much. And having come out of the theater now, having seen this movie, it's kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be, but also not what I thought it was going to be at all. This essentially is an origin story of Cruella de Vil and how she, I guess, becomes Cruella. You've probably heard people say this, but it's basically like if Joker meets Devil Wears Prada. That's it. That's basically the whole movie right there. And even though I'm still not too keen on these kinds of movies being made, this particular movie I thought was actually pretty solid overall. Emma Stone did do really well as Cruella de Vil. The two actors who played Jasper and Horace, they were good. All the supporting cast, everyone, there really wasn't a weak performance, I thought. But to me, the real standout was Emma Thompson as the Baroness, as they call her. She was basically like the Meryl Streep character from Devil Wears Prada. To me, she's like more like Cruella de Vil than the actual Cruella in this movie. At least the Cruella that we know from the original animated movie and the live action ones with Glenn Close as the character. She was just fantastic in the movie. Those two characters, her and Cruella, really have a really cool dynamic in the movie. Kind of like a mentor and whatever it's called sort of relationship, with Cruella just constantly trying to impress her and trying to live up to her standards. Another thing that you've probably heard people talking about is the music in this movie. It's slightly ranging from 60s and 70s pop music, and I like the music. You guys know me, you know how much I like music, so I'm a sucker for a good soundtrack in a movie. With this movie, however, I feel like it was just a little bit overblown. It got to the point where it was just like, is this a movie about the origins of Cruella, or is this Baby Driver? It was just like every 2 or 3 minutes a new song came on, and again, it's not that it was bad music, it's just like, do we really need a song to be playing during this scene? And at one point there was a scene where this song plays from the 80s, and it was just confusing because it's like it takes place in the 70s, but now there's an 80s song. And then, 2 songs later, there was, a 60s song. It was weird. I didn't really understand it. I'm sure it probably wasn't intentional. I don't think they were trying to send any kind of message there. It was just kind of strange and something that I observed. So going back to what I said earlier about it kind of being, exactly what I thought it was going to be, it does kind of follow that typical origin story structure of a character who we know more commonly as being this evil or this aggressive kind of character. Seeing them basically being innocent, and then they experience some tough shit, and then now they're becoming more rebellious, and we see them become the character they are now. It's nothing new, it's nothing original with regards to Cruella's development in this movie. There's also a good amount of fan service I noticed in this film, and some of it I didn't mind. Some of it was definitely a little too on the nose, too obvious, especially the very end of the movie. It's just completely unnecessary. I doubt that was anything that the director actually wanted to do. It was probably Disney forced them to do it. But that's kind of what you're getting in for when you sign on to do a movie from such a big studio like Disney. Another thing that kind of bothered me about this movie is that there are dogs that appear in the movie, and I think far too often they turn into CGI, whenever they're running or jumping or whatever, and it was just way too obvious and not good CGI. That just bothered me, I don't know. Having said that, this was still for the most part, I think, an entertaining movie throughout. Maybe a little bit too long, but for the most part it was well paced and had a nice flair and sense of style to it with the direction. Good acting across the board, some top tier acting from a couple different actors. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Emma Thompson or Stone, if they got nominated for like a Golden Globe or SAG Award, something like that. Probably not Oscars, but any other big awards like that, I think would be just. So with that being said, I'm going to give Cruella a B-. It was a lot better than I honestly thought it was going to be. And I also really appreciate the fact that it didn't hold back with some of the stuff that happens in this movie. It's not for kids. I'm sure you've probably heard a bunch of people say that, but this is definitely not a movie you want to take your kids to see if they're really young. It's cool to see that kind of portrayal and that kind of story and these characters that were known for being in kids and family movies kind of have a more adult view on them. I think it's really cool. So let me know what you guys think if you have seen this movie, whether you liked it or not, whether it lived up to your expectations or was better than you thought it would be. It was strange, whenever I saw this, there was like a lot more people in the parking lot than I'm used to at the theater I normally go to, but there was only like a few other people in the actual theater that I saw this in. So I mean, it seems like we're getting back to normalcy with regards to going to the cinemas, but still a lot of room, a lot of time to get back to that normalcy that we're accustomed to. And I'm excited to, as nice as it has been to be in a theater by myself or just with like a few other people, not like a packed theater, I do kind of miss it, and I do kind of miss experiencing that form of art with a bunch of other people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it getting back to that time, hopefully sometime soon. And yeah, that's all I got for this video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace out.